It originally started out as a bunch of songs that, the theme I found like later on after I had already had this song started for a while. And it's like, it turned out to be like a handful of melodies that I always used to like hum to myself as a kid that weren't really anything. And so that's why I called it 81, because it was like the year of my birth. And it was basically just all those little sound bites from throughout my life that I would always hear. Like, it's like misremembered songs almost. Like, I used to think, like, I was like, man, what was that song that I used to listen to all the time? But it completely wasn't anything that I'd ever heard. Because one time I was like trying to find this Depeche Mode song that completely didn't exist. I would hum it to my friends and be like, what is this song? Because I thought I listened to all their yeah, it wasn't that. I moved to LA and then I finally finished everything. Like, as soon as I moved there, that's when I started talking to Toby again, Anime Bell. And she wanted to hear like the rough stuff that I was working on since I had finally moved to the West Coast. She lives in Seattle. And it was a lot closer, and she said, well, maybe I could drop some vocals on some, and she liked a lot of it, so she put some on for it. I've had a band for a while, but it was always like switching between like 4-piece and 5-piece, and there's so many different incarnations I had throughout the years, but this is like the most solid I've had. Like, the drummer is her actual drummer that she uses for her personal stuff. And that dude's amazing. Like, he's just like a metronome. You can't really like teach what that guy does. My mom used to listen to a lot of good music. She listened to, I don't know, just she bounced around. She listened to a lot of 80s top 40, which I was always into, and then just like a lot of 60s cool. Like, she listened to Zombies a ton, and then after that I kind of phased into like the early 90s indie rock, and that's when I kind of started to have my own taste outside of her influence, and it's kind of like early Radiohead. And we're doing a Europe tour, and then we're gonna get back like mid-November and do the US finally, like cool. And then there's like shows here and there throughout the summer, but I'm pretty much just gonna work on my album throughout the summer, the new one. But I want to have it done by January, like the end of January. That's the goal. I never meet my deadlines, but this one I really, really want to meet.